Welcome to the Rant. I'm John Shannon. So, last night, I was going back through some of my old rants on my YouTube site. Every once in a while, a subject will kind of lay dormant, and then out of the blue, somebody will post a comment 2 months later after seeing any activity. And this was the case on a subject that I talked about, well, like I said, a couple months ago, on health care and mandatory health insurance, to be specific. Now, the guy commented on there, and I'm paraphrasing here, but in a nutshell, what he said was, we're all going to live, we're all going to die, some of us are going to die sooner than others. And, and how I was basically just supposed to get over that notion or get used to that notion, I guess. And then at the end he says, well, eat better. Okay. And then I looked at his profile, and I can't slam him because of his age. If his age is correct, he's 59 years old. So it isn't like he's a 20-year-old saying, well, I don't want to have health insurance. And that's what he basically said too, is that he didn't want to get health insurance. And I understand his point, and I have never been for the idea, really, of somebody else paying for my health care. I have just suggested and had figured that if there were enough people in the health insurance pool, that it would mean that prices would be affordable enough for everybody that was participating. And unfortunately, the only way you're going to get that kind of participation, quite frankly, is to make it somewhat mandatory. So it isn't like I expect to sit here and not pay anything or have somebody else paying for my health insurance. My dilemma has been all along that because of the line of work that I'm in, being that I'm self-employed, yes, I do have pre-existings, and yes, they are pre-existings that I brought on upon myself. I mean, nobody forced those chickens down my throat back when I was younger. I don't eat anything like that now. I just don't get the exercise. But it is my doing, and I am well aware of that. And it isn't so much that I'm afraid of dying, as much as something to be said about the quality of life while I'm alive. I mean, I could save myself a ton of money and not take the medication that I'm taking right now, but within a year's time, we'll start talking about, amputations and it's like I said, the guy's right. We all are going to die eventually, and some of us are going to die much sooner than others, and a lot of people probably dying a lot sooner than they should. You never know, obviously. Life can be taken from you within a minute. But having good health care and being in good health is more about, I think, about the quality of the life you're living, as opposed to whether or not you live or die. So, and like I said, the guy that I'm referring to has good points, and obviously he must be in pretty good health. That he don't feel he needs insurance at the age of 59 years old. And I wish him the best. I hope that he can continue in that way. But unfortunately, I think is more of the exception than the rule. And unless he's got a real good job, and something happens, it can happen, just in an instant. Who knows? 5 months from now, he might be wishing he had health insurance. One never knows. Well, folks, that's all I had on that. Everybody have a fabulous Easter weekend, and I'll be back with you soon. Until then, this is John Shannon, the Redneck Cabbie. Adios.